I'm sitting at my desk one day, and a flyer came across with this advertisement for a big motivational rally in Philadelphia. And I was living in Allentown, Pennsylvania at the time, and it was a conference, one of those one-day events with all these speakers, including Zig Ziglar, Mrs. Fields of chocolate chip cookie fame, and Dan Fouts, and the closing keynote speaker was Brian Tracy. So I go to my boss, because my vision, of course, is one day to become a motivational speaker, and I'm in the training and development department. So I go to my boss, and I say, hey, boss, can I go to this event and get recharged and re-energized, learn as much as I possibly can, and then come back to the department and teach everybody what I learned? And he said, no. I said, it's only 99 bucks. How about if I pay for it myself? You just give me one of the company cars. I worked for Chrysler, plenty of company cars. I'll drive to Philly, learn everything I can, and come back and teach everybody in the department what I learned. And he said, no. I said, okay, how about if I pay for it myself, take my own car, and you just give me the day off to go, and I'll go and I'll learn everything I can, come back and teach everybody in the department what I learned. And he still said, no. I said, okay, how about I pay? How about I quit? That's very funny. That would be one of those new generational people, right? The young people would say, I'm so out of here. No, I said, how about if I pay for it myself, take my own car, and take a vacation day and go and learn everything I can and come back and teach everybody in the department what I learned? And that's when he said, I don't care what you do when you go on your vacation. I said, okay, thank you for your support. Took a vacation day, went to Philadelphia. 10,000 people at this event. It was one of these big motivational rallies, and I'm sitting right up front because that's where life is lived. And I'm watching from the perspective not only of a human resources training and development officer for my company, but a future motivational speaker. And I'm watching them work, not for me to be like them, but for me to be like me with the opportunities that they had. So I'm learning from the masters. And when Brian Tracy did his closing keynote presentation, hundreds of people rushed the stage just to shake his hand and meet him and connect with him. Just rush the stage, sort of like what you will do in about 55 minutes from now. I'm positively projecting my outcome. So I'm watching him work. As these people rushed him, he would look him in the eye and he would shake their hand and spend about 2.5 seconds with each one of them, making a connection, but briefly because he had so many people to meet. And then he would shift and he'd work this side of the room. And I thought, wow, he's really good. He's not ignoring anybody. And he's really making an effort to connect with all these people that want to connect with him. So then it hit me. What am I possibly going to say to Brian Tracy to let him know that I'm not like all these other people? I am different. I have a vision for my future career. So I went up to him. Right before I went to shake his hand, I took a deep breath. And I said, Mr. Tracy, my boss wouldn't support me coming here today, so I took a vacation day, paid for myself, just come to hear you speak. And it worked. He did not shake my hand. He gave me a hug. And when he hugged me, he said, was it worth it? And I'm like, yes! So now I'm driving down the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Brian Tracy hugged me, Brian Tracy hugged me. I'm so excited, Brian Tracy hugged me. So I ran home, ran upstairs, and I told my husband, Brian Tracy hugged me. And guess what he said? Worse. He said he was probably just trying to get you to buy more tapes. I went from scraping the ceiling high to feeling about this big with that one comment. So I divorced him. Now, for those of you who are offended because I divorced this man, well, at least I didn't run over him. And that literally happened. You know, the speaker earlier said something about running over him again. There was a woman here in Texas, literally caught her husband cheating and coming out of a hotel with his friend, cousin, sister, whatever you want to call her. And she literally ran him over 3 times. And her defense, as she spends the rest of her life in prison, is it was an accident.